everybody, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be doing a get ready with me while I talk to you guys about something that nobody talks about. And it's kind of weird that nobody talks about this, and then when it is talked about, it's like shunned. It's like, stop that, don't talk about it. And the reason why I want to talk about this is because I personally deal with it. I know several other people who deal with it, and I just think it's time to get it out in the open and talk about it because it needs to be talked about. Posing this question to you guys: why isn't this talked about more? I guess there's going to be more than one question going along with this video. I'm probably going to pose quite a few questions, but the first question is, why isn't postpartum depression and anxiety talked about more? And when it is talked about, why is it shunned? So I wanted to obviously sit down, do my hair. Claire is napping right now, and Braxton is downstairs hanging out with his daddy. And I wanted to sit down and get ready with you guys for my day as I was pondering this situation. I was actually having a conversation with a friend of mine, and we were talking about our kids, and I was like, yeah, Claire is my last baby. I'm not having anymore. And she was like, oh girl, me too. I'm all done with having kids. And the next thing we were talking about was like, well, postpartum just like hit me so bad. And she was like, oh, I know exactly what you mean. And so it got me to thinking, like, why isn't this specific topic of what women deal with after they have a child not talked about more? Why isn't there more awareness of these medical conditions that women have after they have a child? Like, so the entire time that you have a baby, and you are going to the doctor several times during a week, a month, a year, like during your entire pregnancy. And so when you go to the doctor, they're checking to see how you're doing, they're checking to see how baby is doing, they're checking on your mental health, they're checking on your physical health. At least my OB did. And after you have your baby, you're kicked out of the hospital and you're told to come, make an appointment with your OB in 6 to 8 weeks, depending on the type of delivery you had. And they don't check in on you after that. And why is it that there is no postnatal care? It makes absolutely no sense to me why you go through all of this kind of stuff to make sure you deliver a strong, healthy baby and you're doing okay. But as soon as you have that strong, healthy baby, you yourself are not okay. So I have actually found through my postpartum journey that there are quite a few moms out there who deal with either anxiety or depression or both. They deal with one or the other or both. And usually depending on the situations, I can't classify, I can't diagnose somebody who is or isn't, depressive or has anxiety. But it is known that if you've had a history of anxiety or if you have a history of depression, you are at a higher risk for getting it when you have children. And this wasn't something that was really brought up in any of my clinical visits when I had both my children. It was brought up more so with Claire only because I had experienced postpartum depression with my son, Braxton. And after that, it was kind of like, okay, so it wasn't really, it was brought up, but it wasn't. And with my daughter Claire, it was more along the lines of, oh, are you going to get help? Are you going to go see somebody about your postpartum issues? And that was it. My OB did not really take advantage of the fact that they're supposed to be caring for my health even after I have my child. And that's something that is so backwards and so wrong with every single society these days, is that we don't take care of mothers after they have their children. And this is one of the reasons why women get such bad postpartum issues. One, it's not talked about so much. A lot more people than you realize actually get postpartum anxiety and depression, and a lot more people than you realize struggle with it for longer than what is the normal, because it's not talked about. What really is the normal? And so that really got me thinking about so many other things about how people perceive postpartum issues, how people perceive depression and anxiety, and it made me wonder, like, why can't there be a program designated for all moms, no matter how they feel after they have a child, and they're taken care of, they're okay, they're, they are given the, resources to treat any kind of after motherhood situation, and why isn't that readily available now? And I wish I could pull up on my phone like statistics about like, oh, blah 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 women have postpartum anxiety and depression, or blah 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 women are diagnosed with it so many months after they have their child. And to me, I don't know if those numbers would really stick out, because there are so many women who either go undiagnosed because they're afraid to talk about it because, family thinks they're crazy, their spouse thinks they're crazy, or they just don't have the postnatal care available to them. Here where I live in New York State, all of your prenatal care is taken care of by your insurance, but a lot of other states, they don't cover your prenatal care, and there is no such thing as postnatal care. So a lot of women, after they have their baby, they sit down and they're like, who do I talk to? What do I do? Who do I go see? There are no resources out there for moms who need help postpartum. And okay, maybe you don't have postpartum depression, maybe you don't have postpartum anxiety, but maybe you do need resources to just help you get through a new transition in your life. And there really aren't any. There are some support groups out there who specialize in, breastfeeding, and, there aren't really any support groups out there that tell you and give you information about what to do if you are feeling a certain way. There are more support groups out there about children, how to take care of your children, play dates with your children, activities with your children. I see millions and millions of Pinterest boards all over the place that are like activities with your kids and like, art projects to do with your kids. But I don't see Pinterest boards out there that are resourceful for moms, like just to take care of themselves. Honestly, to me, one of the reasons why women deal with major postpartum issues is, yes, you just brought a human into this world. You have no idea what you're doing. And one of the things is that there's very little support that they receive. And that is one of the things that women experience when they have a baby, is that there is no support. So like I said, there is no doctor that they can call. There are no resources that like nobody gives to them. There's not like a pamphlet that they give to them that tells them like what to do if you feel like if you're feeling very anxious and you aren't sleeping at night, you're just laying awake wondering if the baby's okay, or you're anxious leaving them at home for a couple of hours with dad while you go run errands, or you don't feel comfortable leaving your child, yet you feel like you need that distance from them all the time. That is all a part of postpartum anxiety and depression. Feeling like nobody can take care of your child, but you need a break from your child. That's all a part of depression and anxiety. And a lot of people just don't realize that this is a huge issue. This is one of the reasons why moms lose themselves after they have a child, because they get these medical conditions that nobody understands. I honestly don't think that there has been a lot of research done on postpartum depression and anxiety. I mean, it's finally recognized as a medical condition where you can claim it on your insurance and you get treated for it. Depression medicines are what you can be prescribed, and sometimes you can see like a psychiatrist to, manage your medicine and let them know what's going on, and they base how they treat you off of, what you tell them. But one thing I noticed through my postpartum journey is that there are no available resources for like an actual licensed therapist, a psychologist that you can go see, put it all out on the table, and they give you advice on how to cope with it. There is nothing out there for that. A lot of therapists, especially in my area, who specialize in postpartum issues, they're like, oh yes, I can help you, but I am out of network, so you're going to have to pay the full price for it. And a lot of those sessions are $130, and a lot of people can't afford that. So they ignore it, and they just decide, okay, I'll deal with this myself, or I'm just going to keep it bottled up inside. So why isn't it talked about more? Why is it that every single time a mom deals with a postpartum issue, whether it be anxiety, depression, or both, they are shunned from their family? They're told they're crazy, they're told it doesn't exist. Why is a medical condition like this just shunned from society? And it's really made me think and wonder. I mean, yes, they do consider it a clinical diagnosis when you're diagnosed as depressive and anxiety driven when you have your baby, but why is it shunned so much still among families? Is it the stigma that the mom is supposed to do everything no matter what? Is it that stigma? Is it that stereotype that is still from the 1950s, like family dynamic, that mom does everything and it doesn't really matter what is going on inside her head? Like, she just cleans, cooks, and takes care of the kids and her husband, and that's her job. That's it. That's her responsibility. Is that why today, when you're diagnosed with postpartum anxiety and depression, that many people don't believe it exists, or they shun you for it? Is that why? Is it because there's still that stigma out there that moms are supposed to do everything? Honestly, yes. I think that is probably one of the biggest issues that women today face, that they are told being a mom is their job and they have to deal with whatever comes with it. And to me, that's not acceptable. It is not acceptable to tell a mom to push her feelings aside, push her depressive behavior aside, and just go take care of her family, because those depressive and anxiety-ridden feelings really reflect on how she is as a person, how she is as a spouse, how she is as a mom. So why are they just told to bottle it all up and push it aside? It's like telling somebody who is actually depressive and manic, anxiety-ridden, that they need to suck it up. But you take that seriously, but you can't take postpartum seriously. And to me, honestly, if we had a world where there was more postpartum like care, postpartum resources, then maybe moms would be in a better position to take care of their children. You wouldn't be seeing on the news a mom who drowned her children because she had PPD and PPA and she couldn't get treated for it. Maybe you would start seeing women who come out of the woodwork who are bettering their lives, being better moms, and then you get children who are better, who do better in school, who can focus, all of that kind of stuff. And one of the things that I find ironic is that they say postpartum depression and anxiety can only last for about a year after you have your child, and then after that it's just diagnosed as depression, actual depression. And to me, I find it kind of ironic that they say that, because there have been articles written and there have been blogs written just by basic moms. There have been actual journals posted that I have read that when a woman is pregnant, it is literally a chemical high in her body, and her body releases endorphins that make her happy when she is pregnant. It's these pregnancy hormones. And through my reading, through things I have heard from doctors and nurses, is that as soon as she has that baby, it is like a drug addict quitting cold turkey, and all of these hormones start flushing from her system rapidly. And what people don't realize is that it's like a drug addict quitting cold turkey. So yes, she is going to crash, because she just had all of these pregnancy hormones and whoosh, they're gone. And that's why a lot of women experience high, low after they have their child, because they are experiencing all of these hormones flushing from their system all at once. Why isn't there more education for women? Why isn't there more support for women? Why aren't there more resources for women? And why isn't there postnatal care for women. Why aren't women in the United States, across the globe really, going to see their OBs after they have their baby, before they need to go in for their 6 to 8 week checkup, whatever it is that you do? Why aren't they going in like a week after they have their baby, having a mental check, a health check, checking everything about this woman to make sure that she's on the right track to have a positive recovery? Why aren't women given this kind of treatment after they have a baby? You pushed a human being out of your body, and not even 48 hours later, you're shoved out of the hospital. They make sure that, your levels are okay, baby's levels and tests come back okay. You don't have post-eclampsia, and they let you go. And why is this acceptable? Why? Now, don't get me wrong, because our pregnancy care has come a very long way since, the early days. I mean, usually they had a midwife deliver because doctors were too busy taking care of everybody else, and doctors traveled a lot. This was in the 1800s. It kind of brings me back to like Laura Ingalls Wilder and Little House on the Prairie. But doctors traveled, so they weren't always readily available to deliver babies. So there were midwives who would deliver the babies. And again, after that, women were just told, it's your duty, you take care of your children. And it really makes me wonder, even then, how many women suffered from a postpartum situation of anxiety or depression. Like, this hasn't just been going on for the past 20 years. This has been going on for a very long time. Women have been having babies for a millennia. It's been forever. Women have always had babies. You would think that with today's medicine, with everything that we know about how the brain chemicals work, how pregnancy hormones work, and how they affect your brain chemicals, that we would have postnatal care, and we don't. It's astounding to me. Like, when you have an injury, you tear your ACL, or you break your leg, or that type of thing, you have surgery to fix it, and then you go to physical therapy afterwards, and you have post-breakage surgery care. And when you have a baby, you go through that same trauma that what you would from having surgery or breaking a bone. Your body literally has a relaxin hormone, and it relaxes to the point where you push a 9-pound baby out of your body, and your body literally contracts and just pushes it out. If you've ever seen a snake eat, that's kind of like what I think when you push a baby out of you. And then after you have the baby, you have doctors working on you. They're pressing on your stomach, making sure that your uterus goes down to the little teeny tiny size it was before you had the baby. It was this big when you had the baby and you were pregnant, and they put it right back down into this teeny tiny little thing. They expect you to be okay after you have a baby. But you just went through this traumatic experience. It's actually been classified as even worse pain than tearing your ACL or breaking a limb. You pushed a human being out of your body. Not only did you push a human being out of your body, you created and carried that human being for almost 10 months. And it's classified as okay to just send them on their way and think they're going to be okay. Why is this acceptable? Why is it acceptable to treat mothers like this? Why do you think we see all of these mothers who are struggling with motherhood? Why do we think we see this? Has it not clicked to us yet that maybe it's the postnatal care that is lacking, that has caused women to feel this way, that they're in this hopeless situation? They have no resources. They have no postnatal care. And for the women who deal with their postpartum depression and who are on a medicine for it, there are no resources for these women. None whatsoever. We are living in a world where grandma and grandpa and auntie and uncle, they work, and mom works full-time. So mom is juggling full-time momhood and also full-time jobhood. Then you have auntie, uncle, grandma, grandpa, who are also juggling full-time jobs. And the problem with that is the mother can't get any help or a break from family so that she can decompress and have some time to herself and recollect her thoughts. We just live in this entire world where there's no support for moms at all. Like nothing. There's no support. There is no postnatal support at all. And a mom could need postnatal support for a couple of years after she has her baby, because in all essence, like, your body doesn't really, it took 10 months to grow a baby. It's going to take 10 plus months for you to get back down to where you were before you had that baby. And it could take longer because these hormones mess with everything that happens in a woman's body. So I'll give you a really great example of this. When I had Claire, my hair was falling out. It lost its texture. I have naturally curly, wavy hair. That's why I've been mostly avoiding heat, although today I wanted to kind of just sit back and do my hair because it looks pretty. And I lost the natural wave in my hair. Now that is a minor situation. There are actually moms out there who, they're like, my nails are really brittle and they break because my hormones are still working themselves out from having my baby. And I had 2 kids in under 2 years, and that even puts even more of a strain on a woman's body. And there are women out there who not only are, you know, they have hair falling out, but they have chunks of it falling out, or they are so hormonal that their skin is breaking out. So not only are they having problems with postpartum issues, but now they're having problems with their appearance, being told they're ugly by their husbands, or they just feel ugly. And it's just this overall thing. Women need more support. You can't expect a woman to have a baby and just go home the next day and be okay. You can't expect a woman to be okay a couple of weeks after having a baby, or a couple of months after having a baby, or even a year after having a baby, because her hormones are still leveling out. From personal experience, I can say this. I am almost a year postpartum with Claire, and my hormones still aren't leveled out. I get random breakouts all over my face, like to the point of like, I never got breakouts as a teenager, and these are like what you would see as a teenager getting breakouts. And I get breakouts like a teenager. My nails are super brittle and they break all the time, and my hormones are just so out of whack because of everything that has happened after Claire with my hormones that it's still not normal. And that contributes a lot to postpartum because your hormones are out of whack. So your serotonin and there's another hormone that factors into your depressive and anxiety state. But serotonin is one of them, and that's out of whack. And it also puts your melatonin out of whack, which is the hormone that helps you sleep. So your serotonin's out of whack, your melatonin is out of whack, and everything is out of whack. And my hormones have been out of whack for a year, almost a year since I had Claire. And they were still recovering when I got pregnant with her right after I had B. And it's just not, women need more postnatal care. Not just prenatal care, but postnatal care. They need care. They need help. They need a doctor to sit down with them. They need psychologists that are readily available. They need resources that are readily available. And they need they need specialized doctors who look at your hormone levels and they're like, okay, we need to do this and this, and we can help you with this, and this is the type of birth control you can be on because you don't want to have a baby again. I don't want to have a baby again. And they need to figure this out. So guys, I hope you like this video, and I hope you guys stay tuned for more commentary videos as I like do my makeup. Actually, I'm doing my hair today, and you just kind of sit down, get ready with me. It was just me doing my hair today because my hair. And if you guys have any comments or suggestions about this specific video, leave a comment down below. I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions, and I will see you guys later. Bye.